I was already smoking weed and drinking for a few years before I got introduced to crack. But, how I got introduced to crack was through a family member, and, as a 16, 17-year-old, I came out of a very bad situation with my father. I was very depressed, deal with a lot of low self-esteem and different things like that. So, I started smoking weed and I started drinking things that would make me feel better. And if you don't know, a lot of people who use drugs, they have underlying issues with depression and things like that, and they use it to self-medicate themselves. And even though I was smoking weed and I was drinking, I still had this big old thing with depression. I couldn't shake it, this big old low self-esteem that my father had left me with, right? So when I went to a family member's house one day, they were over there doing something, and I had never seen crack before, right? So I went over there just to hang out, right? And so they had ran out of money, right? And I had no idea what was going to happen, right? So they had ran out of money, and it was like, well, come on, Greg, try this. They really wanted me to spend my money because I was working at the time, even though I was, smoking weed and drinking, I was still working, right? So they kind of tricked me, like, right? They was like, this is some really good stuff. Just come on and try this. So when I first tried it, and I remember I was going through the situation with this girl I wanted to talk to, and I was really scared to talk to her, right? I had her number though, and I was scared to talk to her. The first hit I took of that crack blew me all the way back. I mean, it took away every fear, every anxiety, every pain. It put me in a whole different place that I had never been in. And I remember I was looking at the face of my family members, and they had their eyes real wide open. And I don't know if you know, people on crack had these real wide open eyes. And I didn't know that after that night, I would have my face looking like that for the next 20-something years. But they were the ones who introduced me to crack. And like I said, when I first hit it, it blew me back. And I remember saying this to myself, right? I said, I always wanted to feel this way. I always wanted to feel confident. I always wanted to feel sure of myself. I always wanted to feel like I belong. And that's what crack did to me. And it led me down a road, a horror show for 20-something years until God finally delivered me off of that.